Alain Vigneault, the coach of the Rangers, joins us. Coach, how did you sleep last night? Did you sleep?
Yeah, I get a little bit. I mean, I got to tell you, as soon as we went into the room after and, shook handshakes with everybody and congratulations were over, my staff and I looked at one another. It took about 5 seconds and, okay, you've got the Lightning's last game here. Last game, I'm going to do this one. We're already thinking about the next opponent here. It was an incredible game, an incredible series, but you got to move on quickly and you got to think about what's coming up.
And I should say happy birthday to you as well, and congratulations on all the things you've been able to accomplish before 40.
Yeah, a little older than 40, but that's all right.
But so. This is a team that, with less than 2 minutes to play in Game 5, is down a goal and facing elimination. And I know all the things that you said after that game and leading up, but now that it's over, now that you've moved on, what was going on in your mind? Did you think that there was that realistic possibility that this great season, President's Trophy, was all going to come to an end on that night?
Well, I really thought that we were playing some good hockey going into Game 5 here. I really liked how we played in Washington, but we were, facing a goaltender that was, playing some unbelievable hockey. We had played real well in Game 2 at home. I thought we had played well enough in Game 1, came back with a little bit more than 4 minutes left to tie it, and we lost it on that unfortunate play there with a little bit more than 1 second left. So I liked the way we were playing, and in Game 5, we had an unreal start to that game. We were all over them, just couldn't score again, and they made it, one early, and I kept believing, if we stuck with the process, sooner or later it would pay off. And funny thing how this game is, if you stick to doing it the right way, it usually, helps you out, and it did with Clyde scoring that goal. It was probably one of our B chances of the game, and the puck ends up, in the net. So we make it 1-1 there, and then with Ryan scoring in overtime on a great setup there by Derek Stepan, then you're wondering, maybe we got him thinking here. Maybe the game was real close, so they almost had us out. We're going to go in their building, and in their building, well, it was a great first period from our part, and then it was Henrik Lundqvist. I mean, he just stood on his head. That was probably the game, the loudest building I've ever been in, and they had one of the strongest push, but we were able to sort of weather the storm. And I thought yesterday was a typical Game 7 series from two teams that are very alike, very similar, and it went into overtime, and we were able to get it done in overtime.
Elaine, I'm wondering, you're the professional, you've been here before, and the fans, I'm in the building yesterday, and in overtime, when you couldn't get the puck to the other end of the ice, and it was all in front of Henrik, are you holding your breath? I mean, is your heart beating fast, or you have to be above that?
Well, I'm telling our guys on the bench to be ready because it's a longer change. That's the first thing that's going through my mind and my voice on the bench. We got a little unlucky there on the first time. They had 3 shifts where they spent a little over 30 seconds in our end. The first one, they broke Dom's stick, and they just had a complete possession of the puck for quite some time there. And then we had 2 other shifts. For whatever reason, we weren't able to get it out, and Hank had to come up with 2 big saves. But after that, it was pretty much back and forth, and then they iced it a couple of times, and Scott Arniel, one of my assistants, called a great face-off play from the bench to Derek Stepan's line. The guys executed really well, got a shot that was blocked, but there was a good bounce, and the bounce ended up on Derek's stick, and it ended up in the back of the net.
You also had to play that overtime, down 1 defenseman as Dan Boyle had to leave. What's his condition and what's his status for Saturday?
You know what? I texted him with him today, early this morning. He's talked to our trainers, feels much better. I think he'll be evaluated early tomorrow morning by our medical staff, and we'll have a further update then.
All right, what was your thoughts on the hit?
After watching it, I mean, obviously the point of the contact is the head, but I'd rather not get into it. I mean, right now The refereeing is what it is, and you got to deal with what's happening on the ice and what's allowed, and you got to play through it, and you got to play your game.
Any chance we see Zuccarello against Tampa Bay?
He's coming along. He's been around. He's been around our team now for I would say the past 7 or 8 days. He started to work out. You never know. You never know.
Now, you did take him on the trip for Game 6. Yeah. What did that do for the team to have him around?
Well, I mean, what you want at this time of the year is to have your whole team together, the guys that are healthy and the guys that are not healthy and the guys that aren't playing. So, I mean, we need everybody. We need everybody's support, everybody pushing. And Matt's, is a lovable. Anybody that's been around him, I mean, knows that he's a lovable person, always smiling, always trying to help out. And he did come in that series, and talk to a couple of the guys once he started being around the team, talking to them about, you got to be a little bit greasier around their net. I know it's not easy going there, but, we had to get there. They're all so tight games. I mean, as you know, they're all one-goal games, and except for that 6-1 there, they're all low-scoring affairs. So, you got to get to those dirty areas, and you got to pay the price.
Now, Saint-Louis did not play a lot of the third period. He was taken off his line, and in overtime played a little bit. Is this just a changing of the guard because he hasn't played well, Elaine?
You know what? It had more to do with if you followed the game closely. At 5 minutes and 51 seconds with 5 minutes and 51 seconds left in the third, I put JT on that line. Mm-hmm. And more to do with offensive zone faceoffs. Broussard was having a real tough time on draws, and I was setting him for most of the offensive faceoffs, and he wasn't winning very many. JT on the power play had won both his draws, so I just decided to make a switch there, and it sort of worked out. So for the remainder of the period, I kept rolling 3 lines, and I kept JT with them there. And in overtime, I sort of did the same thing. If I could switch on the fly, Marty was going back with his line, and it was a face-off in the offensive zone. I'd throw JT out there. Marty's been a big part of this team. There's not a lot of room, and there weren't a lot of chances. But he's been a big part, and he's going to continue to be a big part of our team.
Elaine, what can you take from the 3 meetings with Tampa during the regular season, considering they were all before, December 1st, the last time you played them?
Well, if you look at those 3 games where we got, outplayed, outscored in all facets of the game, you could say Tampa's the favorite going into this series. You could say that, but I mean, I don't believe in favorites. I think any team getting into the playoffs has a chance of winning the cups. They are a great team. They did blow us out, but that was in early December, end of November. That was a long time ago. Both teams since then have obviously made some changes, have improved, and I'm looking forward to a great series. They've got a great team that just beat Detroit in 7, and they beat the Habs in 6. They're going to be a real tough opponent, and we're going to have to be at our best.
Now, Don and I were talking about this a lot, Coach, before last night's game. The extra day off, which was because of Bette Midler in Tampa,
yeah.
Did that benefit you? I mean, was that something you would rather have played on Tuesday rather than last night? How do you think that extra day played?
Well, now that we won, we could say that, it was good for us. But at saying that, though, if we would have played on Tuesday, I think we would have been fine. We had just won 2 big games back-to-back, real emotional. Our guys were really looking forward to the opportunity to close this out. Game 7, I mean, how can you not get excited when you just mentioned the word Game 7? We didn't need anybody from the opposition to say, I guarantee we're going to win this game to be motivated. I mean, this is a very mature, very professional group, and just by saying Game 7, they're ready.